then, and this is just before we moved to Chino. And so everybody, I took everybody, we all went downstairs and we were sitting on the couch watching the TV and talking about it. And I got up to take a leak and I'm standing there and that's when the big 5-point something hit. And I always tell people, it literally scared the piss out of me.
I have the puddle to prove it.
Yeah, on the wall, on the floor.
That's a bad time.
Yeah.
That is a very bad time for that part of the pun to go down.
Yeah, right?
Earthquakes.
Not my favorite thing.
The majority of official documents signed by former, I can't use the word, and I never have, and I never will, the former administration allegedly used the same auto pen signature. The majority of official documents signed by the former administration used the same auto pen signature, igniting concerns about how involved he was in his own White House. But Orange Man bad.
Yeah. Get this. I pull in, and I hear Kevin do the kickoff to her show. Then I pull in. I went in the out. I don't know what you did.
I went out, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I went in the out, and so I pull in, park, walk out. Before I realized I left the phone, and I saw her jumping out of her car and screaming.
Oh, shoot.
And I looked, it was like 6:07.
Consistent.
See, because the time and location change on a weekly basis.
Yeah, right. She is.
Good.
I had a long meeting with Scott this week.
Really?
Yeah, I got on him pretty good. And I told him, I says, he goes, when are you ready to make it bigger? I go, my next goal is, more on air.
Okay. Don't forget, because I would find that interesting.
Yeah.
But it just occurs to me, habits of highly successful people just runs through my head for some reason. Want to feel old? Yu Darvish's son, Shohei, is 17 years old and pitching for Cathedral High School.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to feel old, I just look in the fucking mirror.
I had to read it twice.
Wow.
But Orange Man bad.
Yeah. These people are strange.
How did people that deranged get a public forum?
Have you been hearing this gal? She's a recent congresswoman from Texas, and they've been showing interviews of her where she speaks perfectly good English, and now they're doing, and she's got the Obonics things down 100%. It's like,
Play into your audience.
yeah, whatever. How do you know when a Democrat's lying? Their mouth is moving, yeah.
And who is gulled by that?
All right, let's have some fun.
Okay. I like your T-shirt, James.
Thank you. Is that something on something? Did someone state that online?
Today would have been a good day for a jacuzzi after my walk. Didn't get the chance.
That sounds pretty heavenly.
Yeah, it was always tomorrow. Christ, it's supposed to rain the rest of the week practically, isn't it?
Right? What is that?
Getting glimpses of good weather.
Well, you know what?
People are
I'm not going to
surprised.
complain because the lake always needs water.
It always, I mean, our state needs water.
Tuesday, 69%. Wednesday, all day. Thursday, 97%. Friday, 21%. Saturday, 23%.
But you know what makes me smile? Knowing that the myriad water resources that have been put in place under our dynamic gubernatorial leadership.
Dam buster?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that guy is a tool.
Yes, he is.
And now he's trying to be Joe Rogan. I got a podcast, look at me. And he has Charlie Kirk on, of all people.
Well, that's what all the hip kids are doing.
I watched it, and it was just. I mean, I watched clips of it from Liberal Hive Mind, and it's just ridiculous. Like he's trying to laugh it through.
Well, he's trying to play centrist now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well,
And
yes. Well, you got to play to the middle when you're running for.
Yeah.
When there's too little, too late.
Pat Riley Jr., is that what we used to call him?
Yes.
He's got Pat Riley's old hair. I think this is us. Here we go, guys.
You're listening to Gunslingers, brought to you from behind the Iron Curtain on Radio Free California.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Gunslingers right here on
The Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
This is a live show.
Yeah, you
and
can
if you
tell.
guys would ever try tuning into one of the X and
X Rumble, Facebook Live, YouTube, all
you
over.
would have seen me just as it was going on. Unplug myself from everything.
Fumbalaya, Fumbaruski.
It's your silken moves
Yeah,
as
right?
you move through the atmosphere.
And then the frantic attempt at plugging things back in. Holy mackerel. Anyway, welcome to Gunslingers.
Here we are.
And you know what? This is a live show. So that means that we have a phone, and that means that you can call. What's that number, Gene?
You guys are going to want to call in at 866-870-5752. Once again, that's 866-870-5752.
Give us a call. And of course, we have Rick from the CRPA on in the next segment.
Yes, sir.
And then at the bottom of the hour, we have a special guest, a hidden special guest that I have not told anybody
Whoa, surprise
about
to
yet.
us.
So
Bonus tracks on the album, baby.
that's it. Yeah, this is Her Majesty at the end of the Abbey Road. Nobody knows it's there, and it just pops up out of nowhere. Okay, so this week, everybody's been calling. Everybody wants to know, when is the catalog coming? When is the catalog coming? Well, we're just about done with it. Little Fredo finished up all the pictures. He's coming in, I think, on Wednesday morning to do, I think he has like 30 left, and we have about 40 more to get descriptions to. So by Thursday, we should be done. I'm thinking by Friday, we'll upload it, so you should be able to catch it from there. So give us till about Friday before you keep calling.
We're going to have to repeat this again at the hour break for all the people that didn't set their clocks for it.
Oh yeah, there's that. There's that. No kidding. And then good news. I got a call. Well, actually, I made a call earlier this week and said, "Hey, what are you doing next weekend?" So guess what we're doing next Sunday?
Tell me.
We're doing a Motorslinger show. We
Yeah,
got the one
baby.
and only Leon the Motorman coming on in next Sunday with his friend George. We're going to talk about, well, if it hums or purrs or goes bang.
Chainsaws and lawnmowers, baby.
There you go. So we'll have it covered. So Leon will be back with us again next week with another Motor Slinger show next Sunday night. Our next auction already, April 12th, is just over a month away. And then in June, we're doing June 7th and 8th. We're doing a 2-dayer, guys.
Hey, now.
All of these are going to be at the Highway 39 Event Center in Anaheim, so don't forget about those. All of this stuff you can find at gunslingerauctions.com. You know what? We're already getting phone calls. Let's do it. Well, let's jump to our friend Richard. Richard, what can we do for you tonight?
Good evening, you elastic gunslinger.
Bing,
Oh,
bang,
that's stretching the
boom.
truth.
Oh,
What's going on, Richard?
I want to know how the burst mechanism works on guns like the MP5. You can either use it as a semi-automatic, a full automatic, or you can get it to do bursts of 3 or 4, something like that. And I don't understand how that works.
Well, I'm going to make this really easy. It's because it's a submachine gun. It's got a little lever on it that you can switch from 1 to 2 to 3. It's kind of the question you're asking me is kind of like, okay, I've got a Chevy. Explain that motor to me. It's not something that we get done really quickly, and unfortunately, in California, you can't have that gun anyhow.
Nope.
So
There's a little thing called an interrupter, and all it does is when you're on semi-automatic, it just catches the trigger mechanism.
Yeah,
think of it like a little finger that hooks it.
it blocks it when you open it. It just lets it go. The sear just does not catch.
And the full giggle switch, it just pushes that thing out of the way. But as Jeff suggests, there are a gazillion different ways that people arrive at that.
Yeah. So, what's your joke for tonight, Richard?
Okay, an applicant went to a competition, and he took a ladder with him, and everybody asked him, "Why are you taking a ladder to a firing competition?" He said he wanted to shoot for the stars.
Oh.
That's a tall tale if I ever heard one.
Yeah.
Richard, we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Richard. God bless you.
See you later. That was a groaner. All right. Let's get to Dennis in Las Vegas. Dennis, what can we do for you, sir?
Evening, Dennis.
Hello, everybody. I got a joke. My daughter was born cesarean section. Every time she leaves the house, she goes out through the window. Get it?
Somewhat.
Oh, man. Any more cutting remarks?
Oh, that's all he did was for the joke.
I guess that was. It just says.
It's a hit and run, baby.
Yeah, it just says comment. Well, okay.
That's a comment.
Okay, so back to reality. Anyhow, man, I'm pretty sure we're full up for June.
Oh, I'm sure.
Both days. We took in a pile more stuff this week. We booked in something like 290 guns this week.
Another
290 this week.
This week.
Another practical 300. So that's half an auction to itself.
Just right there, yeah. And then we had some folks come in. We had someone come in on Saturday with some real nice Smith & Wesson Performance Center guns.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Yeah. We had somebody come in on Thursday with a bunch of stuff. I mean, we are busy guys. So, and again, go to our website and take a look at militariabay.com. Well, actually, I don't think it's a .com. I think you just click on the Chingadera. They're pulling it up on. You know what? Tell them how do you get us on the computer, Jim?
Oh, so how to find us on our streams?
Yes.
All right. You're going to want to go on either Facebook, YouTube, X, or Rumble. Look up Gunslinger Hour Radio or Gunslinger Auctions. When you get on, make sure you're subscribing, make sure you're hitting the like button, and make sure you're sharing it. Get other people jumping on this. Remember, if they have questions about either anything gun-related, next week we'll have the anything gun or motor-related. But also, if you have any comments on anything going on, if you want to keep us updated, if you've been to our site, seen the auction catalog, let us know what you like.
Just be part of the online family.
Jump out a window?
It's just
Okay. Anyhow, so
They can't, you know this, they can't all be hits.
boy, yeah. Well, yeah.
They can't all be hit.
That was a miss. Get
You
it?
know- oh!
Okay. So anyway, so go to Military Bay. It's a new system that we've added to gunslingerauctions.com where you can take a look at. We have about 90 pieces on there. None of it is firearms. It's all militaria. So we've got ribbons and medals and all kinds of
Art,
reloading gear, you name it. We've got all kinds of different parts and pieces and bits and this, that, and the other. A lot of cool stuff. We've got some uniforms that we're going to be putting on there pretty soon. So we're going to try and keep an average of about 90 to 100 pieces on there at all times for you to bid on and take away. So.
And this is in addition to the auction, so access that stuff anytime.
We mentioned this last week, and Ben showed me the bump. We got something right after I mentioned it. We got something like 225 people or 225 hits.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, it's coming up. So, if you have anything, if you go to our website, gunslingerauctions.com, there is a Military Bay link there, or if you just want to type it out, militariabay.com.
There you go. All right. As always, we have Rick from the CRPA in the next segment. At the bottom of the hour, we have a special guest that we will have on that's going to talk to me about one of my issues that I've been complaining and whining and boo-hooing about. Go ahead.
And for all those of you with online questions, we'll be getting to those too.
Yeah. We'll get those after. We'll have all of that, and we'll have open lines in our second
Power
packed hour, and hopefully maybe Leon, if he's listening. Leon, give us a call after 9 o'clock, and we'll talk to you too. All right, you're listening to Gunslingers right here on
the Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network,
and we'll be right back.
Yes, we will.
Lady, from the moment I
Oh,
hey,
hey, that guy's loud.
Protect themselves and their family. I also believe in gun safety and getting the best possible advice on firearms. So if you want to buy or sell pistols or rifles, or purchase firearms, ammo, and supplies, or learn what's the best firearm
We need to
buy,
duct tape this
visit
son of a bitch.
gunslingerauctions.com.
Yes.
I
do it all the time.
Experience and knowledge, and we'll give you great advice.
A lot of love for your T-shirt there, Jimmy.
Love it. Thank you so much, guys.
Plus, Gunslingers has
Robert in Tampa, Florida, but still watching us. Thank you, Robert.
Hey, Robert.
incredible pistols,
Thank you. Thank you very much.
collectibles, in person, online, by phone, or with
Oh, yes. And Robert had a question about some new rule that you have to declare your firearm.
This was the law that was being batted around about.
Auctions.com. Again, everybody with me, gunslingerauctions.com. It's almost an outro song, but it's an intro. Huh?
Get him in the mood.
There you go.
when the night
There he is.
has come.
What a great song. Welcome back, everybody, to Gunslingers right here on
The Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
And as promised, let's get to our friend Rick from the CRPA. How are you, Rick?
Wonderful. Good to hear you guys.
Well, you
Good to
too.
hear you.
Nice to hear you say wonderful.
So, no new updates whatsoever in the courts. Yes, we're as frustrated as the rest of you, but we have no new news in the courtroom. However, in Sacramento and at the federal level, we have lots of news. So what do you want first?
Well, let's go with federal because this executive order thing is about to burst, isn't it?
No, but he's okay. Keep doing it.
Okay, well, what's going on with that?
So at the federal level, we are looking at, and we're also doing this in California, there's a misnomer on silencers. They're actually called suppressors, and it looks like that those are going to be treated from a federal level as any other firearm accessory. So there won't be a special class of it, which is going to help in the fights like here in California. We're also trying to get those because, they don't silence a firearm, but what they do is they take the noise level down, which is good for everybody's hearing.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so those are a couple of bills that are moving through both the Senate and the House. Of course, we have the national reciprocity moving through both of those. And then we have two sets of bills, one to reform alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. The other ones are to abolish ATF. And then we have a couple other ones that are working on abolishing the credit card codes that, they started here in California putting on firearms and ammunition purchases. And those look like those are going to fly through and actually get done. And then also preventing unjust red flags is up, as well as allowing CCW use for active military.
Interesting.
All right.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of movement.
Lots of positive things on that level. And then on the local, state level, it's just changed so much, guys, in the past year. I mean, normally we wouldn't even be looking at bills for the back half of the session in 26, but those are already moving quite quickly. They can't be filed to the end of the year, but negotiations and people buying them and getting them through the legislative council process is already in full swing. So that's been interesting to watch. So we have some more bills coming out next year that we'll be sponsoring. But, of course, there's the bills we're fighting. AB 1333 is probably the most widely discussed bill. I did several interviews across the country
this
time,
is
which it redefines homicide and redefines use of force. And so we're going to be fighting that one actively. But I don't know what Rick Zuber was thinking about when he did this, because he has formed a coalition against him that is quite impressive. We've got people from the martial arts community, people from ARP and other retirement groups. It's a very interesting group that has come together to say, no, you can't do this in California. And plus, we have a lot of people from out of state now getting involved because they don't want to see California craziness spread across the country.
Well,
absolutely.
For those that don't know, explain what this thing is.
Oh, sure. It redefines. So, number one, people have to realize homicide is not a crime. Homicide just means, someone lost their life.
Right.
It can be good, it could be bad. Murder is a crime. And so what it did was it defined homicide as anybody comes on your property, if you had any chance whatsoever of running and didn't, you would be guilty of homicide. So what that means is I see my kid or a grandkid or somebody else on my property getting beat up. Well, I'm not getting beat up, so I can run, so I shouldn't engage them.
No.
I don't see moms, dads, grandparents ever doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, the other part of it, too, is that you're supposed to look at the person who is, by the way, the criminal, because they've went onto your property, they've trespassed, they're attacking you, and you're supposed to have some kind of dialogue with them according to this bill to say, hey, I don't want to fight anymore, so can I just leave?
I tapped out.
Yeah.
I've tapped out. I love that. Yeah,
right.
That's
They don't
it.
do those.
Yeah, you'll tap out because they will tap you out, and that will not be a good thing for you. So this bill has a lot of problems with it, and it also sets up a lot more problems. But it also is following kind of a theme this year because we have another bill by Berman, which is Assembly Bill 1078, and it's trying to use the definition of reasonably likely to be able to start to weaken CCW policies here. That if there's any reason it's reasonably likely that this person shouldn't have the gun, then you shouldn't give them a CCW. And the problem with reasonably likely is in our capital and on the streets, I could ask 10 people and get 12 different answers of what that means. And so we are really trying to hold their feet to the fire and say, quit trying to weaken our Second Amendment rights and our right to self-defense by going after language choices, because that's what they're trying to do. They know they can't do it straight out because they'll get ruled unconstitutional. They'll lose in the courtroom. So now they're trying to play with, very subjective language.
Thought police, basically. Yeah.
So, and then good news is we have filled up all of our people going to the Capitol for Capitol Day, where they'll be lobbying against people just like your listeners. We'll be lobbying against 3 bad bills and lobbying for 3 good bills.
Hey.
And that's amazing because we normally don't get there until about 2 weeks out, and this time we got there 2 months out. So we may do a second Capitol Day later in the session. And, we've got now 25 ranges signed up for Shot Heard around the world on April 19th. So things are going pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Excited for that day. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, it is.
And where are you going to be at, Rick?
I think I'm going to shoot down in Laguna Niguel.
Okay. Well, I procured a flintlock. So,
Hey.
so maybe we'll have to try and meet up and
Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
yeah, me too. Me too.
That is
Definitely.
cool.
Yeah. So, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I will talk to the range guy because I'm sure he'll be all down for that, and I'll give you a call later this week.
And we had question about something else.
Oh yes, the
That stupid March 1st thing.
about
Yeah.
having to disclose firearms.
What is going on with that? Because I haven't heard a thing from DOJ, and they
Yeah,
haven't said.
DOJ hasn't responded, which has had us. I mean, people have been frustrated with us. We can't respond until we know what DOJ is going to do.
Right.
Another one of those where
Yeah.
they don't have their ducks
Yeah.
in a line.
And here's the thing, like, you know, I got to be careful how I say this, but it doesn't, you know, when they were trying to pass this, we said this, and I'll still say it where it lays now. Now, to anybody listening, if you know DOJ decides to change their mind, do something tomorrow, this is said before they did that. But I just don't see where the enforceability is. Like, you know, you ask somebody a question, they can answer it, but it doesn't seem like there's nothing for the FFL to do one way or the other, no matter how they answer the question.
Yeah.
And there's nothing in the law about how they answer the question.
Yeah.
So this isn't like, you know, on the 4473, did you use drugs? Because if you say yes, that automatically kicks some things in. It's not that kind of question.
No.
It's not
That's,
an auto red
it's,
flag.
so this is unenforceable. Again, do these people even use legislative counsel?
There's so many comments I want to make when you set me up like that.
Oh man.
Along with that answer would go, and if they do they even understand it, and do they ever apply it? Right.
No. And it would be a big fat no to pretty much all of it.
Right.
Oy. So, again, because lots of people don't understand what we're talking about, give them a quick synopsis on what this mess is.
They want to ask you the question: do you have other firearms? Have you registered them all? It's kind of like an all-encompassing. Have you followed the law on every firearm? And there's a lot of people that aren't going to want to answer that because it's just something they don't feel the government has a right to know.
Yeah.
And now you can make the argument, well, they already know because you've already bought firearms. Yes, but you may have also inherited firearms. You may have bought firearms depending on your age before certain ones were required to be registered. There's many instances, none of which are illegal. And so a lot of people will see this as yet another way for the government to try to get a full registry of all the firearms.
Yeah.
Infringement.
And so you're supposed to carry, every time you walk into a gun store, you're supposed to carry an entire list of every firearm that you own, make, model, and serial number.
No one's going to do that.
No, nobody's
What
gonna do
happens if you forgot the 22 that you got when you were 18 years of age?
Exactly.
Now, have you violated some sort of stricture and may you be stripped of your rights?
Well, and again, folks, these are people that get voted in that bring us this. And they're getting voted in because you won't get your ass up off the couch and go vote against them.
Yeah, we're allowing them to turn us regular citizens, law-abiding citizens, into criminals for no apparent reason. That's what's going on here, folks.
And I will say on the election thing, you got to be really careful because we've had two good elections, both Assembly District 32 and Senate District 36 just had 39 just had their elections. We got Assemblyman Ellison in the Central Valley selling Vince Fong's seat. We got Tony Strickland becoming a senator again, filling Janton Nguyen here in Orange County. Both of them very pro-2A, but both of those people, those opened up other special elections for the seats that they formerly vacated. In the case of Strickland, that was a city council member in Huntington Beach. So we're going from one special election to the other special election. But, folks, this is a great place for us to pick up more and more supporters. So, you know, when you see a special election thing, don't throw it out because a lot of these are being won by, like, literally 5% of the electorate in that area.
And congratulations to those districts and those people because they're doing a great deal for us. And thank you for supporting them as much as you do. I saw the posts online and also it was fantastic to help support them.
Yeah.
Showing common sense.
Yeah.
Well,
on another point, the latest firing line came out. Anyone that supports the CRPA and gets it, make sure you go through it and look at it. You guys hit so much in this one, just about the the wildlife that's been going on, the coyotes and all that. You guys touch on so much in this issue, and thank you.
And there's a full page ad for Gunslinger Auctions.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
But no, but
Thank you very much.
There's so much great stuff in there, folks. I was going to bring in my copy today to kind of hit some points that I've been writing down, but no, it's such a great asset to have, like a piece of material in front of you folks. So
Right.
go ahead and make sure you're reading through her.
All right, Rick, we got about 45 seconds. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay.
If they want to get a hold of us, crpa.org. And if they have a question, contact at crpa.org. And as I say every week, be safe, shoot straight, and fight back for your rights. And thank you, guys.
God bless
All right,
you.
Rick. Thanks, and we'll talk to you.
Take care.
Talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
What a difference talking to Rick it's been throughout the years. I know.
Honestly.
He used to come on to the Darth Vader music.
Dun, 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 dun. But it has been getting better. There has been a sea change.
Now he
in
comes on to
American-
Walking in After
Yeah, I'm
Midnight.
walking on sunshine. Whoa. We got to do that for him next time.
I think we will. All right. Hey, you're listening to Gunslingers right here on.
The Gunslinger Syndicated Radio
And
Network.
when we get back right after this, we got a special guest. We'll be right back.
Gracious, gracious, gracious.
These guys are terrible. They all feed them to me, and then I don't know.
I'm just too far away.
As he backs away.
As I roll and slightly.
Let's face it, you have the experience, the skill, the knowledge, the know-how.
Yeah, and the cojones. to
And
actually
the
do it.
willingness.
Don't nobody know me.
I hear cream on the bumper music. Yeah, you do.
What's that?
Oh, this is Craig Hansen. I hear cream on the bumper music. Yeah.
Yeah. Opening chord. E7th add 9. I
With the
believe.
9.
Yeah.
You know what song I listened to like 4 times yesterday just because it was making me so happy? Hello, Mudda.
Hello, Fada. Here I am at Camp Granada.
Oh my gosh. And I was watching the actual live performances
Oh,
that he
yeah.
was doing on his show. And oh my goodness.
Something Sherman. I can't.
Alan Sherman?
Maybe. Wait a minute. It stopped raining. Kids are something.
Swimming.
Kids are sailing.
That
Take me home.
he was a 2-hit wonder.
Oh, mudda fada.
Mudda,
Take
dearest,
me home, I hate Granada.
dearest fada. Lovely Mudda.
Something where I might be eaten by a bear. Oh, man. Dearest fada, darling mudda, how's my sweetheart, little brother?
Yeah, I listened to it and watched it so many. I'm sitting there laughing, singing it to the boys. Just,
No.
They're like, "What are you watching, Dad?" Don't you worry about it. Just enjoy.
I catch that on my walk every once in a while. Walking along, singing and chuckling.
Alan Sherman, yep.
There
Farmer
you go.
Tyson, Alan
Alan
Sherman.
Sherman.
Was that on Dr. Demento? So
That was
Asper-
absolute Dr. Demento stuff.
Yeah.
Man, that was a fun Sunday night for me. Anytime we were in the car catching Dr. Demento
Dr.
anywhere.
Demento.
We'd make the drive a little bit longer every time.
Those are the good old days of radio, boy. Fish heads,
Roly-poly fish heads.
Fish heads, eat them up, yum. I heard that's Billy Mummy Moomy, whatever.
Billy Movie, really?
Yeah, I don't know that. I can't confirm that it is, but I heard that it was.
Yeah, some of my first
Dude,
Hey, you the man. Love you. Yeah, right along with fish heads.
Your guest Rod Stewart's on line 7.
got him. Yeah, he's touring. I give him a call.
Not to scare you, but my bunkmate
Has malaria. And And he reads to us from something called Ulysses. Because he doesn't want to sissies.
Yes, I mean, I listened to it far too many times.
Wow.
The chorus is great. Oh, mother fodder.
Please disregard this letter.
Read the latest headlines on our website, am870theanswer.com.
Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Now they often call me Speedo, but my real name is Mister. You know, they often call me Speedo, but my real name is Mister. All right, welcome back, everybody, to Gunslingers. We got to watch that 20 seconds.
Yeah, we do.
Do you want to be sued, boy?
The shinning.
Okay, so as you guys have been listening to me for the last couple, 3-4 weeks, whining, complaining, bitching, and moaning about just being burned out with cowboy action shooting. So I went to the World Championships. I did not do well. I came home early. I went to the world famous Double R Bar today because I told John and Annie, I said, guys, don't bother me about shooting, and they didn't. They left me alone. So I said, okay, and I went out, and I shot okay. I think I came in 5th overall.
Which is outstanding,
Yeah,
especially considering the category you shoot.
Well, you know, I was happy with all but 2 stages, and it wasn't the stages; it was just me. But I just wasn't feeling it. So I'm out on my walk today, and I'm walking around, and I'm just thinking, what can I do? And it hit me. I know who I can call, and this is our special guest, the one and only world champion 2 times over this year, female wild bunch shooter and female overall cowgirl shooter, the one and only Randy Rogers.
Randy Rogers.
Also known as Holy
Terror.
Yeah, that
Holy
one.
Terror.
Yeah. Randy,
Look
how
at
are
that.
you?
I am so good. I'm so glad to be here on the show. I can't wait to get you all fired up to go cowboy action shooting again.
Thank you, because man, my rear end has been dragging about a half inch off the ground for about 6 months as far as trying to get. And I go and my heart's not in it, and all I'm just watching my watch, and so you know, Randy shoots for the Ruger team, and so she's doing all kinds of different disciplines and cowboy action shooting, and it's like, okay, give it to me, lady, help.
Celebrity. Look at you throwing this on this like this.
Right?
Thank you so much, Randy. What a wonderful night.
No, I'm excited. Well, first off, I mean, I totally understand where you are, and believe it or not, I've been there. I actually took a couple of years off from cowboy myself. I definitely missed it, though, and so it was good because I was able to step away and say, you know, hey, I've got some other things going on in my life. I've got, you know, other work, other shooting, business, you know, marriage, husband, family, blah, 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 blah. And so I took a couple of years off. So there is no shame in taking a break. So, you know, if you've reached that point, you can always take a little hiatus. It doesn't mean you don't love it. Doesn't mean that you're giving up. Sometimes you just have life stuff.
Well, understood. But, you know, I'm like Frank Sinatra. I've already retired twice. This will be a 3rd time for me. Yeah. So,
oh, come on. The greats never really retire.
There you go. There you go.
I don't know. I went and shot today, and you know, like I said, I shot 4 stages clean, but I just was like, yeah, whatever, okay. And I just walked over to the unload. And everybody, oh, good, you know, and everybody's trying to pat me on the back because I think everybody can see it on my face, but I'm just not feeling it. What do I mean, you're shooting so many different things. How do you get, like, for instance, normally you're shooting semi-autos, but now you got to, you know, walk it back and do single action stuff. How do you prepare for this mentally?
Well, you know, one of those things, the first thing I tell myself is, usually when I get done at a practice, especially if I've been having one of those weeks or been having one of those months, when I go out to the range, I do feel better. So that's one of the things I try to focus on for myself is when I get done shooting and I smell that smell of gun smoke in the air, do I feel better? And for me, I do. And not everyone does. Like, that's not everyone's, you know, they need something else to think about or something else to focus on. But for me, I can tell myself, hey, if I go shooting, even if I don't want to, I tell myself, you will feel better when you're done, and I always have. So I am lucky that way. So that's one of the first things I could try. Now, you said today you weren't really feeling better at the end of the day. Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, were you not feeling better because you were physically tired or mentally tired?
Yes.
That definitely plays into it.
Time change.
A few other tireds too, but those are two of them. Yeah. Well, they had the time change and everything, and so you lose an hour. And I didn't get to bed last night till about midnight, and then you got to get up at 5 a.m. because you got to get ready because it is about an hour and 15 minutes from my house. So
From anywhere.
Yeah. It's a bit of a drive to the old Double R bar.
Well, I hate to tell you this, I don't want to harp on you, but that old saying that if you don't take care of your body can't take care of you.
Well, okay, fair enough, and I get that part. But now, what other disciplines are you shooting?
Took the question out of my mouth.
So I over the years, I've done a lot. Over the years, I've done, I think, 9 different disciplines in different guns, different types of shooting, different styles, things like that. But these days, I've limited it down to just 4. So I do the cowboy action and the wild bunch, which kind of counts as 2.
Mm-hmm.
I still do a lot of IDPA shooting. I do USPSA shooting and... Well, I said 4, but I guess it's 5 because I do IPSC and then I do a little bit of revolver as well. But I do the modern revolver, like the I-Core.
Right, double action stuff.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I mean, just so everyone knows, you practice so many disciplines. How long have you been doing competitive, like shooting in general and competitive? Like, what's the difference between there for you, time-wise? Let's say.
So for me, there's not a whole lot of difference. I was very, very blessed. I started shooting when I was 11 years old, and I started because my grandparents were cowboy action shooters at the time. My grandfather is a world champion in his own right.
Multi.
And yes, multi in both wild bunch and the cowboy.
Hey.
And so I was blessed. I got to go live with them, and they didn't have a full-time babysitter or anything, so my choice was to go to the range and I could sit in the car and watch, or I could go shoot. And let me tell you, going to shoot is way more fun than sitting in the car.
I would think so.
So right off the bat, at that time, back in the day, 11 was not old enough to compete. So I guess I have about a 6-month difference between my shooting time and my competing time, because my first match was Winter Range in 1999, and I think I was 12 for all of 5 days.
Okay. I was at that match, by the way. I started.
Yes.
Yeah, I started.
Think you beat me out for a couple of years.
Yeah, I started late 1997. So.
Okay.
And that checks off so many boxes for not just our audience, but everyone out there. It's again, it doesn't matter what gender you are, and it doesn't matter your age, really. Like, you can start off and have the ranger sitter, as I like to say, to really start out there and start learning and understanding this craft altogether. And I mean, you're a shining example of that.
Oh, this is one of the things I love most about shooting. I've met shooters that were, 9 years old that, you had to prop their long guns on the back of a folding chair when you took them to the range. And then I've met people who didn't start until, kind of middle age, as far as they were 50, 60 years old. And every single one of them, I see the joy in their face. And so you're right. It's gender, age, ethnicity, background, occupation. Just come out to the range. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
Well, and going plinking, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Just going to the range and taking a SIG and a Glock and a Colt and stuff like that. And my favorite is 22. I love shooting 22 because you don't have to pick up that damn brass, and it's still relatively inexpensive. I won't say inexpensive, relatively inexpensive to shoot, and it's fun hitting the clay birds up on the 50-yard berm wall with a handgun because it angers everybody else that's with me. So I do enjoy that, but.
Well, hey, it sounds like you're still enjoying shooting. Maybe it's just the category you're competing in. I think you said you did classic cowboy, right?
Yeah, and I have been because, I'm kind of the guy that got it started, and so I feel funny not shooting it.
Well, I mean, you did a great thing for the sport. I have to say, I have to take my hat off to you because it's so cool that you were able to combine people's love of shooting and dress up all right there in that same category.
Yeah. Well, I did not come up with the idea. You've been around long enough. You remember Mule Camp.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's where that class got started. I just caught wind of it, and Hipshot is the one that told me about it. And he was just so adamant. And he said, "Oh man, this is a great class. You got all this extra stuff." And da 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 da. And so I pushed it through. Remember Stampede? They used to have they used to have the match, and then they had the TG meeting, and then we had the great dinner and everything. And I pushed it through with Hipshot's help. Unfortunately, they took what we had as an idea and watered it down so drastically that it almost was like not a point. At first, you only had to have 3 pieces of flare, but we wanted it to be black powder only. Had to be 38-40 and above. Had to be one handgun. That was the kicker because you had to have like 7 pieces of flare with us. So you had to have spurs and chaps and all the vest
and caboodle.
Yeah, the whole kit and the whole deal.
Sell it.
And so having the one handgun would keep you still in a possibility of being in the top gun shoot off. And how cool would it be to have a bunch of guys? Because you remember early 2000s, man. This is when cowboy shooting was going from, the early guys were kind of fading away, and all the hot guys were coming in by the droves. I mean, it was so just crazy. We were on TV all the time.
Explosive growth then.
But everybody was with rolled up shirts, and of course, Spencer was the king of roll up shirts and all that stuff, and being a young skinny kid that just was blistering fast and kicking our butts, and so this was kind of a step backwards into what the sport was supposed to be about in the beginning, and we thought that was a great idea. But of course, the TG, what stands for territorial governors, these are kind of the guys that are in charge of
the region and all
and they poo-pooed most of it, and they almost changed it in a whole other category. But anyway, so that was the story on that, and so I've been doing it for 23 years. I think I've been doing classic since 2002. I think is when we brought it in.
I think 23 years might be time for a mix-up. I mean, I'm thinking maybe some spaghetti western. Maybe we need to go be western. Get you some bling, man. I mean, buy you a new hat.
There you go. I am not going be western.
Come on.
Yeah, no, that's Johnny's class. Let Johnny have it. I am not dressing up in that stuff.
But there are others. She makes a real good point.
Yeah.
A couple of real good points.
Make the same soup, just change the flavor.
Well, okay, and real quick, because we're going to come to a break, so don't hang up on us, Randy. We'll come to you. We'll come back to you after the break. But really quick, I tried two-handed. Every once in a blue moon, I'll go out and shoot two-handed, and I've got a beautiful SKB. I've got like 3 or 4 of them actually. And what happens to me is I go out, try classic again, and because SKB has no hammers and it's one trigger, now I go back to a hammer double. Oh, forget with 2 triggers, I forget about the back hammer or back trigger,
keep yanking
and I
that
forget to cock the hammers, and it is an absolute train wreck. Okay. Randy, we're going to go to a break real quick. Don't hang up, okay? And when we get back, let's talk a little about your grandpa, and we'll introduce everybody to who he is, and then we'll talk a little bit more about helping me.
So good to have you on, Randy.
Yeah, absolutely.
All righty?
All right.
Okay, very good. Everybody, you're listening to Gunslingers right here on
the Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
And we'll be back right after this.
Yes, sir.
I see.
Old Bark wants to know, is Randy Rogers a for real name and related to Roy Rogers?
Might just as well be for as well as she shoots.
Right? I don't think there's any relation, but maybe name's Grace.
What's up?
Old Bark asked, is Randy Rogers a for real name and related to Roy Rogers?
It is her real name, and I don't think so.
No relation, but name maybe namesake.
We got any questions for her online?
No questions, but a lot of love. Great.
.com. Again, gunslingerauctions.com.
that is true.
Boom, 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 boom. Welcome back, everybody. A little boom, boom. You like my segue right out of that?
Yeah.
Okay, we're here with Randy Rogers, the one and only Holy Terror multi-world champion. She took home about half the trophies, I think, this year, didn't she?
She did. And may I brag on the girl for just a moment? At the Wild Bunch, there was one clean shooter for the entire match.
Who would that be?
One. And you may be on the phone with her right now. Good job, Randy.
Wow.
Well, that is something to
thank
be
you,
proud
but you were
of.
right there with me. I mean, look at you with all your trophies. You did
Yeah,
good work.
but as I recall, you still kicked our collective asses, though. So good on you.
You have to say butts on the radio.
I'm sorry, our collective tails. And I want to say big respect for being able to do the job that you did and take home world championships in what is unarguably two different disciplines, because it's really switched. In fact, a fun question, if you don't mind me asking. How hard is it for you going from a semi-auto, which is kind of your home planet, to going back to dealing with a single action?
I'm pretty lucky. I don't have too much trouble going from the semi-auto to the single action. I think the thing that I have the most trouble with is in my modern sports where I actually shoot a single action, or I have for the last several years. I've been shooting a 1911 in 9mm in IDPA and stuff, and so it's much harder for me actually to go from IDPA style shooting to Wild Bunch, because in Wild Bunch you cannot move
the motion
with that loaded firearm, and I can everywhere else. So I have to really, really think about it, and I actually I kind of cut myself off from all my other shooting for 3 or 4 months. It kind of works out because of the way the season falls. I'm mostly done with everything in December. So from December to February, because into trails at the beginning of the year, I can really focus on just Wild Bunch and Cowboy, and that helps. But that's the hard transition for me, is making sure I don't walk around with a loaded firearm, because I'm used to doing that. We do that all the time.
And for those that don't know, who is your grandfather?
So my grandfather is Evil Roy, real name Gene Piercy, and my grandmother was Wicked Felina, and they started shooting in 1993, and they were very lucky. They were kind of semi-retired when they started, and so they got to travel all over the country for years and years. And my grandfather decided to shorten his career and started up a shooting school, and so he kind of made a name for himself with that, really passing on his craft and his trade and his knowledge to all kinds of shooters all over the country. And so he got to be kind of a big name in the cowboy action world, and I am very blessed that I got to train with him for so long.
And how's he doing? I know he retired from cowboy shooting. Is he retired from all shooting now, or what's going on?
He is not retired from plinking. He still goes out in his backyard nearly every day and shoots about 50 rounds. And he calls me up quite regularly to remind me that dry fire is the very best type of practice ever. And so he still does that. I think every night drives my grandmother slowly insane, dry firing in the evening. But no, he's still very active. Both he and my grandmother are still very healthy and very active. They just got to where the travel was a lot for them. They did it for 30 years, and they were pulling a trailer and a motorhome and trying to load up all the stuff, and it just got to be more than they were excited for. So they also understand wanting to just take a little bit of a break.
God bless.
It is a lot.
Well, now here's a loaded question. Do you think he'll ever come back?
I doubt it. He's kind of enjoying his retirement. The other thing is, my grandfather, he's a wonderful man, but he's always been very, very competitive. He raced motorcycles, in his 20s, and he did a lot of martial arts in his 30s and 40s, and he started shooting. He actually didn't start shooting until he was nearly 50 years old. And he's very competitive, very type A, and he also kind of enjoys the podium, and so I'm not sure he could ever come back and not be on the podium again. He won his very last year that he was competing, and he liked going out a winner, and I think he's kind of just going to keep it that way.
You go out on top, you stay on top, huh?
Believe me, I can completely understand that.
And Randy, you're getting a lot of love online already. Actually, Big Jake wants to make sure he says hi to you and old Evil Roy too. So just you're getting tons of it on here. Everyone, when we kind of announced you out, was just pouring out because you're our special. You are a special secret guest on. So everyone kind of, when they heard the name pop up and all, they all kind of blew up with us. So it was really nice.
Well, big thank you, everybody. That's awesome. I'm thrilled to be on today. We're going to get you excited again. I feel it.
Oh, yeah.
So, if a new category is not the answer, maybe a new sport is. Maybe you need to come out and play Wild Bunch with us.
You know, I tried that. Well, it was a couple of years ago. I came out and I shot. I don't think I'd shot a match before. I came out and EOT was my first attempt. And
Boy, that's jumping in with both feet.
yeah, well, you were there.
Oh, it was like 2 or 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, and
Just
I ended
recently.
up like 5th in my class. I shot traditional, yeah, and I ended up 5th in my class, and it was interesting, and I did kind of enjoy it. But the problem with doing it at End of Trail is the time. I just don't have it. You know, I mean, I literally, the match starts on Thursday. It's in Arizona. I leave Wednesday, you know, to get there, to get signed in and get ready for Thursday. I shoot Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I shoot, and then as soon as I'm done, my last round, I'm in my car and on my way home because I got stuff to do.
Maybe that's some of the pressure that Randy was talking about earlier, though. If you have that feeling that something's looming over your shoulder every minute.
Well, you know, I literally usually walk around like I got a piano hanging over my head.
Just waiting for
Actually,
it.
for me, it would be gun safe, but you get the point. So, Randy, tell us about shooting for Ruger.
Oh, shooting for Ruger is a dream come true. Oh my gosh, they are gun people running a gun company making guns. You know,
Look at that.
That is
Trifecta.
awesome.
really nice. It's really nice. They, my boss Paul is awesome. The other members of the shooting team and the influencing team, they're just fantastic to work with. Anytime I get the chance, and yeah, I mean, I get to shoot guns for a living. I mean, how bad is that?
That is pretty cool.
Pretty darn cool.
Yeah.
Are there any other, like, say, shooting disciplines you're kind of curious about that you look about maybe dipping your toes into in the future at all?
Oh, absolutely. I would love to join my teammate, Doug Koenig. He does the precision rifle shooting, and he has just really taken that and run with it the last 4 or 5 years. And I am just so jealous every time I see a post about that. I think that looks like the most fun to just have a rifle and to shoot long distance and to shoot the different positions, the standing and the kneeling. And they have all these props that you have to shoot off of. And oh my gosh, I think that looks like fun, but it would be a whole new weapon system. And I'm not quite ready to bite off more than I can chew.
I understand
But
that.
now, you know, if you're talking about dreams come true, that would probably be my next one. That would be really fun. I'd love to give that a try someday.
Very cool. Have you tried the pistol caliber carbine stuff yet?
I have, and I like the pistol caliber carbine. But for me, it's a question kind of, you have to really like, I've found over the years, because there's gotten to be so many different shooting sports and so many different divisions and disciplines, for me to do well, I really had to kind of start focusing. And so I did do the pistol caliber carbine for several years, but transitioning back and forth, the thing about the pistol caliber carbine is it's really about being able to move the rifle in and around props. And I just wasn't doing it enough to be effective at it. And so I love it. I highly recommend it. I mean, shooting a rifle in a pistol match, I mean, no one would say cheating, but I mean, it's as close as you can get, right?
It looks like a lot of fun, and Ruger does make a couple of real
Boy,
nice
do they.
Oh,
pistol
yeah.
caliber carbines.
They do. They do. If any of the listeners have interest in it and have been kind of on the fence, I highly recommend taking the plunge because it's awesome.
Look at that, folks. You heard it here.
There you go. Two things I want you to take back to Ruger when you talk to him. Number one, the PC9 or the police caliber or carbine 9 is a great gun. They need to make it in 45.
If you have anyone's ear, he's been on about this.
Yeah, that is a grand slam. You know, when we get the old Marlin camp guns in for auction, there's the Marlin 9 Camp 9 and a Marlin Camp 45. The 9s always get $600, $700, $800. The 45s always get $2,000.
Easily.
All right.
And they kind of suck.
Yeah, they're not a great
They're
gun.
not a great gun.
If Ruger put their minds to it, they would make it fantastic. That would be not a home run. That would be a grand slam. And the other thing to take to them is you need to tell them they need to start sponsoring our show.
Oh, yeah.
We would love to have them on, and because I've got feelers into about 6 different manufacturers, but you know Ruger's close, and you know I do shoot Vaquero, so Ruger is close to home
Come
for
on.
me.
Right.
So we need to get them on as a
Will you
sponsor.
start shooting a Marlin?
And
All right, I'm writing the letter right now.
There you go.
Nice to hear it, right?
Hey, I want to add one more thing really quickly. For those of you that have never had the pleasure of shooting with Randy, in addition to being an absolute apex arch competitor, she is one of the best people you could ever hope to have on a posse, just in terms of keeping the posse moving, keeping it running, attending to all the posse chores no matter what. You really are a delight to shoot with, and so is Gordon.
And she's really great when she walks in on you in your hotel room.
Oh, hey, whoa.
Sounds like a story.
Do you remember that, Randy?
I do. That's still probably one of my top 5 stories. Nothing torrid happened.
No, I had just walked in, set my suitcase on the ground, turned the TV on, and my door opens. And look, it's Holy Terror.
Hey.
I'm like, hi, what are you up to?
What is this, a sitcom?
She's like, whoop, 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 whoop. She did the curly shuffle right out the back door. Randy, we got to go. Thanks so much for coming on, especially last second like you did.
Absolutely. Thank
It's
you so
my
much,
pleasure.
Randy.
Thank you guys so much for having me. Have a great day, and hopefully you'll get more excited about coming out and shooting with us.
I will try and tell you, Grandpa, we said hey too, okay?
God bless you, Randy.
Will do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. We'll talk
Thanks,
to you
Randy.
soon, okay? Take care.
Wonderful, wonderful.
All right, guys, that's the one and only Holy Terror, Randy Rogers. What a great gal.
Absolutely.
All right, you're listening to Gunslingers right here on
The Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
and we'll be back with our second
Power.
packed hour and phone calls. Give us a call.
AM 870.
Some of what she said is true, though, and I had not thought about that. Mechanically, you're such a great shooter. So it's and you love to go out plinking, for example. When you go plinking, you're not getting up stupid early.
No.
You're kind of doing it on your terms. And that's that little window. This is me trying to trailer off of that and be helpful. There is no pressure to that. And when you do that, that is that little island away from all the pressure.
Well, you know, what I usually do is I go and I bring 3 targets, and they're cowboy style.
Yeah.
You know, it's 12-foot square, 12-inch square, and I put one at this end, one at this end, and one at the center. And these are out at about 48 yards, and this one's at about 30. And I just, you know, Nevada sweep it, bing, 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 bing. And I get a kick out of that. My favorite thing in the world to do is used shot shells. I throw them out.
Check them out there and make them dance.
Yeah, and kick them out.
Do you have
even
enough?
farther.
Do you still have enough eyesight for that? Because when I was a kid, we used to throw them in the river, and they would be half full. So you're now shooting at half one, and it's bobbing down the river and stuff. And I could go 9 for 10 with the freaking Marlin Glenfield. Now I can't even see them.
Yeah, no, I don't have any problem with that. It's usually you know.
I don't know if this is a question for y'all or is for Ms. Rogers, but have you shot and are friends with Lena Mikulik?
Oh,
fun one.
Michalak.
Yeah.
I'm sure she is. We tried to have her father on, and he kind of very unpleasantly blew me off. Yeah. Jerry Michalak is her dad.
Yeah.
And I talked to him at SHOT a few years back and asked him if he'd, you know, come on, and he said, well, you need to talk to my publicist. And the guy was sitting there, and he was on a laptop, and he goes, oh yeah, what's your name? And Jeff from Gunslinger Radio, and he goes, like totally like really like showing me that he wasn't doing it, kind of a.
And how do you spell that again? Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I just said, wow, okay, never mind, sorry to bother you. And that was the end of that.
Well, his daughter is rather more approachable. Be worth. Oh, hey,
I'd have her on in a heartbeat.
Gene is following this thread. Just so you know.
ER, how are you? I miss seeing the man in black walking around.
Right?
I got it.
Honestly. Nice to see Ames on the Facebook feed. Congratulations on your clean match. He was our posse marshal for End of Trail.
Oh, okay.
Did a real good job. A real good job.
How are you today, good sir? has its ups and downs, just like the market. I used to be a cliche, but after decades of hard work, now everyone realizes my effect on the markets.
Indeed. So can you tell us how the markets will survive?
There's no telling, but one thing is for certain.
And what is that?
I'm uncertain.
Don't forget the red suspenders on Evil Roy. A good call out. Good call out, Craig.
And Patcham, Mr. Long, Brian Long, he says maybe you should try Cowboy Fast Draw.
I've tried Cowboy Fast Draw. It has one issue. You shoot the black powder stuff. I hate cleaning guns.
and maybe that was for Miss Rogers as well, just in case she's curious into another platform.
The last time I cleaned my cowboy guns, I had Beaumont Benji come out and clean my cowboy guns. I think that was May.
The Jersey Lily this weekend, just next week.
Jersey Lily is this weekend coming up.
I cleared up my calendar just in case you're gonna run. I told Rick Shigio, that I'd be down. He told me who to contact once I get down there, and
I don't know that I'm gonna have time to shoot it.
No, I just wanted,
Maybe we go out Sunday and say hello.
Cool.
I'm okay with that. It's close to home.
Yeah, it's Corona right there. Yeah, I saw it's only about 20, 25
I owe him money because I'm sponsoring a stage. So.
I heard that you were a sponsor, so I should have an easy time getting in.
Yeah.
Learn how you can save more money, grow your wealth, and thrive in this brand new financial world. Join me for my live broadcast at 3 p.m. Our pre-show VIP meet and greet is at 6 with hors d'oeuvres and a complimentary drink, along with preferred seating for the big event at 7 p.m., where I'll be joined by a panel of the best and brightest minds in finance today. Your money, your wealth, our answers. March 27th at Embassy Suites, Glendale. I'll see you there.
Sponsored in part by Total Financial Wealth Management. Get your VIP tickets now at am870.info, keyword wealth. That's am870.
We have another special caller going to call in at 9:15.
Yeah, love these.
Let's unite and come together.
Everybody sings this way. You belong to me. That is make you say you want way voices. I'm someone else and I'm alone. I don't remember the words either. No. All right, let's cut it. Everybody. Amy, what you want to do? You better cut it off. We're getting funny.
Yeah, right.
You know what? Going. Think I could stay with you for a while, maybe longer if I do. Welcome back, everybody, to Sing Along with Dad.
Yeah, that is one of a few songs, honestly, in the world that I go, that one's perfect. I don't know what you could do to make that better.
I have to agree. And you know what? Let's get to phone calls, but first, give them the number, Jimmy, because we got calls. Go
It's
ahead.
our second
Power Packed
Hour. So you're going to call in at 866-870-5752. Once again, 866-870-5752.
Okay, let's get to Mark in Woodland Hills because he's been waiting an awful long time.
Thanks, Mark.
Mark, thanks for hanging on. What can we do for you?
Hey, my three favorite Patriots.
Hey.
It's been a sad week for Marines in particular, but people who love movies. With Gene Hackman's death, apparently there is no foul play, and I hope to God there isn't. But 30 years ago, my brother worked craft services for movie sets, and he was on location for that movie, The Quick and the Dead.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Which was a good movie. Yeah, that and, The Unforgiven, great westerns.
Unforgiven is definitely.
It was being filmed in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was working the craft services there, feeding people, a deputy sheriff who was providing service security was chatting about guns with Mr. Hackman. And Gene commented that he'd love to shoot a Thompson submachine gun someday. Well, it turns out the deputy owned one. In fact, it was even in full auto.
Nice.
So he went home to fetch it, came back, and turns out Gene had the time of his life, shooting hundreds of rounds through it. And I just thought I'd share that little bit with you. And one nice thing is my brother said he seemed to be very nice to the little people, because a lot of the famous folks, they treat you like dirt.
It can, that can be a thing.
You're just invisible.
And I just like to say that I think his best movie was The Conversation, but my favorite was probably The Gypsy Moths.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Oh, And I was like, I got to check that one out.
Unforgiven is a great, and Little Bill Daggett is a great character.
The Gypsy
So all I can say is Marine, rest in peace.
There you go.
And thank you, gentlemen. God bless you guys.
Thanks, Mark. We'll talk to you later.
Great talking to you, Mark. Thanks so much.
Yeah, I don't know those ones. I'll be honest. I am not a huge Gene Hackman fan, not because he's a great actor, but he has been outspoken in the past about firearms, and so I always kind of steered away.
But he liked Thompson.
Yeah, but he did like
But who doesn't?
And I'd be surprised. I'm surprised that he didn't. I mean, he was in Bonnie and Clyde, where Thompsons and BARs ran amok. So I'm kind of surprised he didn't get to shoot one there.
And he was Lex Luthor. So
well, there's that, I guess. So he's got that going for him. All right, let's get to James in West LA. James, what can we do for you, sir?
I checked my safes and I noticed I have some rust on some of my firearms, so I'm trying to get some information on prevention and how to deal with it once you got on it.
Well, there's lots of things you can. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, first thing I noticed was this is calls from Santa Monica.
West LA.
Oh, West LA, close enough to Santa Monica or close enough to the ocean that this is going to be an issue. So get a dehumidifier.
Yeah.
Because that salt air, the bluing on firearms is
advanced rust.
It's basically rust.
Yep.
So they've already started the process for
Yeah.
you. So you do need to do anything you can to encourage it to stop.
Yeah.
A dehumidifier, if you have a good gun safe, a dehumidifier is good, even if it's just silica gel, something to absorb the moisture. And boy, do you have a favorite moose milk that you use to coat with?
No, I really don't. Really quick, James, where do you keep your safe?
It's in a storage shed.
Storage
but it's a nice shed. And actually, I live in more Covina area. I just
that's a whole different world then.
Okay.
It's better, but
Well, because the reason I bring that up, I have a safe in my garage, and the washer and dryer, the humidity that comes out of those, man,
combo
you have to be really careful if you have a gun safe in the garage with a washer dryer, because it's the
thing I'd never thought of.
Yeah, the humidity that comes out of those, especially if you're washing with hot, it's almost like being in a shower.
Oh, yeah.
A bathroom with a shower in it. So you got to be careful with those. Make sure you get a good seal on the door, and then the goldenrods. They make some.
The goldenrod is a good one.
They make one that plugs in. That's really nice. Or those, the gel packs that they pack in any of those, anything that comes overseas. Those packs that you always go,
pads,
what the heck is this thing? And it looks like a
do not eat.
Yeah, a little itty bitty pillow that says "Don't eat," because when it's in your coffee, that's what you're going to do.
Well, I mean, something about it does make me want to open it up and try it out.
And it's okay to treat your firearms lovingly to a nice thin coating of some sort of lubricant.
Yeah, I like Rem oil.
Rem oil's good stuff.
It sprays and you can wipe it on real easy. But that's what I would recommend. And if you've got rust on it now, go out and get yourself a real fine, like a 00 7, 8, 10 steel wool, and get some Rem oil, spray it on, and then very gently rub
Massage
over it.
it off,
and that will take care of a lot of the problems. If it's gotten too deep, it will still pit, but there's no way around that.
Yeah. It will attack the metal.
you.
Okay, thanks for the
That's
call.
a good call.
Oh, and Farmer Ty's put us said, put some charcoal in your gun safe. It absorbs moisture.
Charcoal also absorbs
Yeah,
moisture.
that's true. I've tried just about everything you can imagine, and they make that. It's that the little itty bitty. I want to call them styrofoam balls, but the little pillows,
little peanuts.
Yeah, you can get them in a can. It's about yay big, and the can's full of holes, and it's about the size, 3/4 of the size of a beer can, and you can get them. And I put a couple of those in a gun safe, and they seem to work fine.
On one of the little runs I did, I think when it was up north to Sonoma and all that for the last one, the guy had actual heating rods going through each one of
that's
the
that goldenrod thing that he's talking about.
Yeah, those were, I mean, I accidentally grabbed a few of them. Just because. Yeah, but those were. He was in a very moist climate, and even that day it was pretty overcast. But everything I was taking out was nicely dry. So hey,
once it starts, it does seem to grow exponentially, doesn't it?
Yeah, Russ. Old joke, but firearms only have two enemies. Yeah, rust and the government. Yeah. So you got to be real careful, especially the old cobalt blues. Oh man, that stuff.
That's heartbreaking. It's so tissue thin, so
Yeah.
beautiful and so thin.
Yeah, believe it or not, that's where the name blue came from. Back in the old days, that cobalt, that bright royal blue. That's where because if you look at a gun, you go, well, it's blue.
It's not blue.
That ain't blue.
What are you talking
blackish.
about?
Yeah. But it came from that cobalt blue.
Melissa's
pretty.
asking, aren't there airtight safes or climate controlled safes?
Well, yeah, but you're now
minute
you're
you open
talking
the door.
yeah, and you're talking some serious buckage. The one that I have in my garage, I installed a weather strip on the door itself, so when you close it, because I just don't have anywhere to put it. You know, gun safes, believe it or not, not that attractive. I have one, and I'll be honest, it wasn't a great safe to begin with, so I took it to my old buddy Jimmy, and we did like a real thin Bondo and made it and then painted it black and then put a real high gloss on it. And that thing, it looks like plate armor.
Class.
But if it's empty and you open that door, it'll fall on you. It's not a real great safe, but it looks really, really good. And that's your atypical gun safe. I mean, so many people go and they get the ones from, the big box stores, and they're just not great. So the best thing to do would be coat it. Putting them in rugs doesn't always help either.
Putting them in rugs, if the moisture gets in the rug, you got a moist spot. I've seen more rust come out of those things.
I can't tell you how many guns I have taken in for auction where you look at one side and you're like, oh, that's beautiful, and then you turn it over,
and it was all nicely cased.
Yeah. Oh, and it's literally encrusted across.
Laying on that wet side, just sitting there soaking it up.
Take your boys out and exercise them once in a while.
Yeah.
Take it,
And then when you're done, oil them up.
Run a rag over them.
Yeah, oil them up, put them away. Yeah. And, nothing wrong with cleaning your guns now.
Yeah.
Just because I don't do it doesn't mean you don't have to.
The lumberjack has to sharpen his axe and make sure it's clean all the time. So you go do the same thing.
There you go. Oh, I love this song. All right. Hey, you're listening to Gunslingers right here on
the Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
Quick. More phone calls. What's the number?
866-870-5752. One more time. It's 866-870-5752.
All right. We'll be back right after this.
Yes, sir.
Ain't no sunshine.
Anytime he runs away, I know.
Remember seeing one of those things like, how many times did she say "I know" in the song?
Do you know I've actually covered that song in bands, and I never got it the same way twice.
No.
How many I know.
When you're singing, and I know. Where
was I?
And I just go, oh, you don't need no thing.
Everyone better doing it.
Ain't no sunshine
when she's gone.
Yeah, just kind of throw it in there.
Winchester's Bass Boat Flake paint is awesome.
For what?
Oh, picking for a cause. Now I can put a face with the voices. I listen to you guys all the time on The Answer. Love the songs you play. I'm afraid of guns. And I hate them because my son got shot. Well,
and that's okay. That's what we're here for, to help you. seconds. I get it. Hey, you know what? We got a phone call from somebody very famous.
Oh, I love it. That double dose tonight. Look at
Right?
us.
Let's get the one and only Leon the Motorman. Leon, how the heck are you?
How you guys doing? Very well, I'm sure. God, you got what a great show you have. And I have a question.
Sure.
What was the lady's name that was shooting that you had last hour? Randy?
Randy Rogers,
Randy Rogers. Is she single?
Oh.
No, she's not.
It gets worse. She's married to a really good shooter.
That's fact.
She sounds like such a nice lady that, wow.
She is.
That's really amazing. No, you guys do a good job. She was really very interesting.
Thanks.
Always love hearing your voice, Leon. Can't wait to have you in.
You know, I'm looking forward to next week. We'll go on and talk about the old Motor Slinger show with George and myself.
Yes, sir.
That'll be a lot of fun. I'll put something on your Facebook page if you don't mind this week.
No, I look forward to it.
Okay.
I always look forward to your show and whatever you need. You know, you guys are the best.
You're the best. Come on.
Come on. We just copied you, Leon. That's all there is to
We're
it.
trying to keep your...
No, you did copy me because you're the only show, and I've said this, and I mean this sincerely, the only show in the United States that has a great show about firearms and things of this nature, which is so important.
Well,
at this time.
Thanks.
And I thank you guys, and I think you're doing an outstanding job.
Well, thanks so much.
That means a lot, Leon. Thank you.
Yeah, it really does, because it's kind of like talking to a legend. I mean, it's really neat to get complimented by a legend.
It really, all we're doing is keeping these mics warm until you come back on the radio,
That's
like
it.
everyone wants. So we're just here
I'm
for
not a
you.
legend. I just had a good time on radio and talking about my subject that I enjoyed so long about motorized things. And, you know, if it hums, purrs, or moves people, you know I love to talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
That encyclopedic knowledge of yours.
No.
Leon, here's the latest on my 68 Mustang. I just procured a 390, a Ford 4-speed tranny, and a 9-inch rear end for it.
Ooh. A 4-speed with a 390 differential. Wow.
Oh, no, 390 motor.
Oh, with a 390 motor.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
390 motor. That's a big block.
Yeah. So I'm supposed to be getting that about the end of the month. So it should be going in sometime April.
I look forward to seeing that.
Oh,
And I'm
yeah.
concerned about your little pickup truck that you enjoyed. You know,
The 56?
I think you said a 56 pickup truck
Yeah.
that you just purchased a month or so ago.
Yeah, it had that old Y block in it, and it was a cracked block. So we picked up a 302 Ford for that one, and so far so good. We started it last week, and it's coming along. Just got a new drive shaft made for it and put it in, so it should be rubber meeting the road here pretty soon.
Made for it?
Had to.
So that's good. I'd like to just, get hired on by you to take care of all your vehicles.
Anytime. I keep telling you. I got a.
I like
Go ahead.
I like the Corvette you had. You got a Corvette with a big hot rod motor in it.
Yeah.
And, and I really think, supercharging is the way to go. I know you haven't done much about supercharging, but I think I introduced supercharging to the auto industry.
I know. And you know why? Here's why I haven't supercharged anything, because I just like looking good getting there. I don't need to get there that fast anymore.
What? Only 400 horsepower.
Yeah. What's that?
No, you're better off. It's just a thing that I've got in my blood. It's got to be supercharged.
Yeah.
It's just a way to go.
Well, I got my 65 Malibu convertible back, and it's just got a little itty bitty 327 with a slip and slide power glide in it. So maybe we'll have to talk and find something for that.
I haven't heard that term slip and slide power glide.
You could hear the smile come across his face right now.
When I was boat racing, which is my favorite sport, one of them is boat racing and water ski racing, and you want to take off. We had a 2-speed power glide transmission, and that where we use it in low, you could actually put it in the boat because the prop spins faster, and you could get the skier out of the water, then you would shift up to the higher RPMs. So it's great.
Well, it is great, and it's very nostalgic. But you know me, did you watch much of the Barrett Jackson back in February?
Yeah.
You know,
yes, I did watch a lot of that.
Resto mods are the thing. Resto mods are getting 2 and 3 times what original stuff was getting. So
you're absolutely right. And I grew up in the hot rod era, the 32 Fords and all of that, and then not bringing the excitement that all the retro rods and even the late model cars now. The El Caminos are becoming very popular.
Yeah.
All 55 through 57, the Tri-5 Chevrolets are just pretty amazing vehicles now. It's the new generation that's coming up,
Yeah, they're dropping LS motors and everything.
Yeah. That's jewelry you can wear.
Oh, yeah.
You can use it.
Yeah.
When I got involved in this, coming from North Carolina, well, you wouldn't know that, of course, but coming from North Carolina, it was just hot rods, and I loved hot rods. And now with the newer generations, it's more of the 50s and the 60s cars, and it's just a lot of history. Fortunately, I was good friends with Robert Peterson, who owned Hot Rod Magazine, Motor Trend. I wrote for Motor Trend Q&A section for quite a few years there, and it was just interesting, that whole era of the auto industry. Hot rods and street rods, and now every car, you can buy cars with a lot of the horsepower and stuff now, and it's really changed, and it's really interesting over the years how this just happened from the military people coming out in the 40s and getting involved in hot rods and things of this nature, which I absolutely love it.
Me too.
How are you liking it, right? Clearly. How are you liking, is it just me, or are you seeing a shift back towards, away from electric vehicles and back towards more internal combustion?
Oh, I think so. With the new generation that's coming in the political world, which I don't like to talk political world, it's coming back to more. Electric cars are fine. They do their job. They do everything good. But it gives you an option. It's not having it just thrown down us, or we got to do this, or we got to do that. And it's just, it's nothing to me, when I grew up in this, than the sound of a nice engine.
Agreed.
Like a 390 Ford?
Oh, yeah. It's just wonderful. I got a El Camino that I've had. My son's taking it over and fixing it up. My son Lance, and it's just I've had some nice cars, and it's just a way of life over the years, especially here in Southern California. I know you have a national show, but cars has been a big thing from the beginning. It's just from the Model A or Model T, I should say. I'm not that old, but I do know a little bit about Model T.
Just a little bit.
I read about those.
Yeah, I saw a picture once.
Seen them in a movie, yeah.
I read it in a book.
Well, like cars, like guns. You're amazing. You guys are amazing about guns. I've had guns all my life. I've hunted and all this, but what you guys know about the knowledge of the gun world is absolutely amazing to me. I know nothing compared to the auto industry, what you know about the gun industry. It's just amazing to me.
I don't know about that. But
It takes 3 of us to make one of you.
Exactly.
How long did you do your show alone?
Right?
Well, Well, we're trying to get back on. I just love people. I miss the people.
Sure.
I had all the best listeners, just like you have, in the entire world, and I still get emails, and I just love them. I was just in love with all my listeners. It was a family thing, just like your show, and it was just amazing. It's just, as you know, the industry changed, or I'd still be on. It's just absolutely amazing. I love talking about the subjects that I like. I love doing the TV. But actually, I did radio more than I enjoyed TV and things of this nature, because you can just really express yourselves just like you guys are doing. And it's just amazing.
And we know that they all miss and love you so much. Again,
Boy, howdy.
All of our, we're all on the internet and all that, and everyone's just pouring out their love for you. They can't wait to see you back on. They can't wait till you get back on your solo, because you're a gem for all ages. You are really something.
God bless you guys, and God bless all my listeners over the years. I love you all, and I really mean that. Love you very, very much. You're all of my family, period.
Bless you. Thank you.
Thanks, Leon. We're coming up on the hard bottom break. Leon, we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
I'll be listening as usual.
Okay. Well, next week you'll be here. Okay, Leon.
I look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Thanks. Thanks for calling in. We'll talk to you then.
Leon. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, the one and only Leon the Motorman. That opens up lines. What's the number, Jimmy?
866-870-5752. Once again, that's 866-870-5752. And for those that are waiting for it, Leon will be saying the number next week. So there you go.
All right.
Gift for you.
You're listening to Gunslingers right here on
the Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
And we'll be right back.
But young enough to say.
Actually, kind of one of the first songs I ever learned.
Is it?
Oh.
It's right up there with me, too. Did you learn it in regular tuning or in the D tune? Because he's doing it in everything's dropped down
Yeah.
full.
You were not cool at my school if you could not play that lick.
Always great to hear from Leon.
Oh, man. Kirk, would love to see you, Leon, at the Father's Day car show on Rodeo Drive. You're like a father to people listening to you over the years. And curiously enough, there's not a lot of love for the electric car on this. Like Leon said, there's a place for them. If you live in an urban environment and you're just going to the store, back to school, back to stuff like that, and you can plug in on a regular basis, and you have an internal combustion car somewhere that you can go to when the stuff goes south, because it will. But what he said about having the stuff forced down your throat, forced evolution seldom works.
Yeah, I picked up a 390 Ford with a 4-speed and a Ford 9-inch rear end. Can't wait to
Drop that in.
Get going on that.
How much custom fitting do you have to do?
A ton.
So guys are making motor mounts and stuff?
Everything, yeah, because that's got those high shock towers.
Yes.
And those have to be completely eliminated. We got a Ford Mustang 2 front end for it, which is you got to cut off the end of the frame and attach.
The guys know how to do that, but
yeah.
that is a lot of work.
It's considerable,
but what a cool ride when you're done.
When you're done, yeah, and I will have a bullet car with disc brakes.
That doesn't pogo stick all over the place.
Yeah, so
with
nice.
discs. Willwoods?
Of course. That's what we're doing with the 50 Ford Woody. We picked up. We had to have it custom made because there used to be a guy, Fat Bob's or something, that used to make a custom kit for the 50
4950 and 51 Fords to change it over, and they're gone.
As those become increasingly rare, there has to be a market for the product you're making, right?
Yeah. So this guy, he has just disappeared off the face of the earth. So we found somebody back east that will custom make it. He says it takes him about 6 weeks. And it's all, it's.
I think crazy for
tubular A-frame and coilovers and disc brakes and everything is all set and fit. And literally you cut the nose off and weld this sucker right in.
And it all just drops in.
Yeah.
That's got to be one of those you can't ask the number. You just.
It's expensive.
I expect.
But, I'm putting it in a 50 Ford Woody. That thing's going to have a 350. Disc brakes, AC, bitchin' stereo.
That's going to be about the coolest car in your collection.
Right? I mean, it's a Woody for crying out loud,
A whole bunch of people can't or won't. No consequences. Nothing gets done, even right here.
We had to do that one's got to have a lot of work done because that engine compartment is for the little.
Here's my story, it's sad but true. It's about a girl that I once knew. She took my love, then ran around with every single guy in town. Hey, hey, whoa, 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 whoa.
Welcome back, everybody, to Gunslingers right here on
the Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
I hope you guys are singing along with us.
Yeah, right?
It's the whole damn point of bringing these songs on. All right, you know what? We got phone calls. Let's get to Kerry in Huntington. Kerry, what can we do for you, sir?
Hey, guys. Love your show, as usual.
Thank you.
Yeah, quick question. A lot of lubrication or light lubrication when you're doing your firearms?
When you're deep. Go ahead.
Yeah, after you clean them, when you lube them.
Oh.
And you're going to store them, I would go with light. Yeah, you don't want to overdo it because, believe it or not, I can't tell you how many times we've taken in a firearm that somebody really went wild with, a white silicone or all kinds of different, and you can't even open the thing.
Yeah.
Smith and Wesson wheel guns are so susceptible, you can't even open it.
Get the cylinder
you can't even get the cylinder out, and you can't cock the hammer. This thing is like, okay, we got to dump it in the
tank. And when you over lubricate and stuff, it kind of attracts more dust and dirt and all that. It's gonna stick
and
to it.
help you if there's wood furniture on it, the oil gets into the wood.
Oh yeah, big time. And remember, folks, WD-40, that stands for water displacement. That was made to rid water from metal.
Yes.
It's not a lube.
Not a lubricant.
Nope.
People come in and they say, I'll just put some WD. No, that's water displacement. That is not a lube.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, just a fine layer just to keep the rust away. It should be just fine.
Protective coat.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how about if you're getting ready to go shoot? Same thing, light layer?
You know what? I don't like a lot of stuff in my gun when I'm shooting because it tends to, especially with, because powder's going to get out of the shell.
It absolutely will.
Yeah, and it tends to gum it up.
And you shoot in Southern California, where there's always fine grit.
Yeah, and so you're somewhere where you got a little breeze. Next thing you know, you got a lot of gook in your gun, and now you gotta clean the damn thing. And that to me, that's one of the the 10 deadly sins. Cleaning guns.
Yes.
So
beautiful.
Yeah, just a little bit goes a long way, and sometimes that dry graphite
is the answer, but especially as it gets cold.
Yeah. So those are my recommendations.
Beautiful. One last question. The shot heard around the world. What's that all about?
Well, it's a 250-year anniversary of the original shot heard around the world, which was Lexington.
The battles
and
of Lexington and Concord, absolutely.
And so a whole bunch of different ranges are having people come and shooting one, I think, blank round
at
At a
a
specific
predetermined time.
April
And-
19th.
Yeah, and I managed to procure a flintlock musket for my shot.
nice.
Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do with mine.
That is cool.
Thank you. Thanks, Boogie.
Yeah.
That is cool.
So yeah, that's what that's all about. And hopefully we can
And,
get
and
together
you can
with Rick.
participate in this thing. It's not
Yes.
like it's some big secret. CRPA has links
Yeah.
to all the events that are taking place.
CRPA.org. Go ahead and go onto their website. They'll have all the information out there. And if you're on there, make sure you're helping out and you're joining, please.
Kind of stirring to take
Beautiful,
part
yes.
in something like that, and it's on a Saturday.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Oh, nice. Yeah. The actual day falls on a Saturday, huh?
Yes,
Yeah,
it does.
April 19th.
Awesome.
All righty.
Well, good. I'll take my Winchester 1901 out there and blast it.
Bang,
Let's
spot
go.
on. Excellent.
All right, Kerry. Thanks
All
for the
right,
call.
guys.
Take care.
Thanks, Kerry. God
Thank you.
bless you. Real fast, patch him quick, Brian. He's calling you out. He wants to see how fast you really are. So he wants to see how to see where you're at.
Well, with fast draw.
Yeah,
or
with fast
cowboy
draw.
action?
He's our fast draw man.
I know.
Oh, I know you'll be under us. You'll be like well under a second.
The Jersey Lily used to bring guys out when cowboy shooting was really flourishing,
Yes.
and they used to bring the mounted. They used to bring the quick
guys
draw
like Bob
guys out.
London.
And I did it. And it was you won something at the end of like 3 days if you were the low man, and I was the low man for 2.5 days, and then a actual
When the guy really does
fast draw guy came out and he got me by a hundredth of a second. or
There's
something.
so much specialized equipment, specialized kit that goes into that.
The holster's special, the gun is special, the hammer's special, the
Yep.
trigger's special, and I shot with my
And you're shooting
actual
your own guns.
I shot with my cowboy action.
That's pretty badass.
It was pretty cool, and I enjoyed it. But I'll be honest with you, I dry fired that thing about 15 times because you can get it out and hammer cocked and trigger pulled pretty quick. Anybody can. The trick is hitting that disc,
putting it on, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Yep.
So it took me. I did it for about 10 minutes off on the side, and then I said, okay, I'll give it a roll. And you had to pay a couple of bucks or something, and so I gave them the money, and I think they gave me 3 rounds, and I missed with the first one, but I got the second one, and I was better with the third shot than I was the second. And I don't remember what my times were, but it was well under a second. I want to say like 0.3 of a second or something.
That's smoking.
Yeah, but the guy that beat me like a redheaded stepchild. I went back later. I was like, oh,
that's how it's done.
Yeah.
But ask him to fire 24 rounds from 4 different shooting positions
Yeah.
with 4 different firearms and do
Yeah.
that under 20
Patcham
seconds.
says stock 45 Vaquero, nothing special.
no. Hey, you bring the stuff, and I'll give it a roll.
Hey,
There you
now,
go.
Look at that.
Yeah.
See?
When it comes to firearms, I'm pretty close to fearless. I'll give anything a try.
You better understand this, though. This gentleman really does know how to shoot. I mean,
Well,
really.
it's a gift. What can I tell you? It's just let's get to Edward in Riverside. Edward, how are you?
Pretty well, thank you. How about you?
Good. What can we?
Fun slinging patriots.
I like that.
Fun slinging.
Fun slinging. What can
Thanks
we do
so
for you
much.
tonight?
Well, Jeff, you walk around Norco 5 miles. I'm wondering how long that takes you.
It usually takes me just about 90 minutes. It depends on which route I'm going, too, because, man, when I go up the hill, I do that 2 or 3 times a week. I go up. Are you familiar with the Norco area?
Well, yes. I have a sister who used to live over there, but she got to a free state. She and her husband went to Arizona, so
Gotcha.
they're no longer over there.
Well, if you head up 5th and you hang a right on Pedley, it dead ends, and then you start going uphill, and it's about 2.5 miles, and some of that hill is pretty steep.
Hilly.
And when you get to the top, I mean, you are up the hill because you can see the entire Hidden Valley golf course up there. And when I go that, it usually takes me about 1 hour and 40. So that one takes a bit longer.
I've ridden my bike over that. Yeah, that's a hill.
It really is, and but I've got friends that I see, guys that wave to me every day or that stop and talk. And the best part is the last leg of that. is like golf ball heaven. I have found about 50 at this point. And sometimes I find 2 or 3 at a time, and man, I get a lot of Titleists up there. The Pro V1.
Pockets are filling up.
Yeah, so Pro V1X is my favorite. Yeah, so I find a lot of golf balls up there, so I really enjoy that walk, but the legs not so much.
The walk home's a little heavier,
yeah,
huh?
but usually if it's flat ground, it usually takes me about 90 minutes.
Okay. I do have a gun question, and I just wanted to ask each of you what your favorite 1911 is.
Easy for me.
Go ahead.
My favorite is a Les Baer. Absolutely. They're kind of plain Jane on the outside, but the inside are solid gold. Hand fitted, hand machine. This is one of those guns. They tell you don't take it apart for at least 1,000 rounds. You got to shoot 500 rounds so you can start breaking it in.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, I love it. And I got 2 world championships with it.
Hey,
so I'm
now.
pretty happy with mine.
And I also shoot a Les Baer for the Wild Bunch, but I got to be honest, my favorite. Okay, it's called a Clark Custom. It's a Colt 1911 Clark Custom melted.
Ooh,
they have taken every sharp anything on that gun and rounded it off. It does not look like a Colt, but it is sexy.
See, at least I can kind of stay in that same type of wheelhouse. My favorite has been your Colt, your 1911. So
that was easy.
So yeah, well, not that exact one, but yeah, shooting your Colt was always
Colts.
Oh man,
yeah, with that melted gun, it shoots. Second place would be I have a Wilson Combat National Match.
They make great guns.
Oh, that shooting a 45 at 50 yards and hitting clay birds is. Simple with that gun.
Yeah, I've got my Para at home, and it doesn't shoot like your Colt. So yeah.
So those are my 2 faves. All righty.
All right.
Okay,
well,
Ed.
Thank you.
You bet. Thanks for the
I've been leaning toward the Sig Sauer because of that external extractor.
That's a real good choice. I'll tell you what.
Great gun. Absolutely.
I like the external extractor. Be aware of the fact that slide contour is a little bit different, and it will not fit into every fitted 1911 holster.
Yeah.
But
we have 1 or 2 of those in the July auctions.
Great gun.
Hey.
So, all right.
Oh, all right.
Very good. Ed, thanks for the call.
Thanks, Ed. God bless.
All right.
Take care.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Bye-bye. Real quick, let's jump over to Tim in Moore Park. Tim, what can we do for you?
Evening, Tim.
I'm Tim Callum Carrion. Stop cowboy shooting. Go to church. Be a church marshal. Join the voluntary security group and use your concealed carry permit to be a security person in the church.
Well,
that's wonderful.
Here's the problem, though. If I go into a church, I'm always afraid it's going to crash in on me.
The floor freezes over.
Right? And then, all the statues turn and look, and whoa.
Everyone at my church already kind of knows that I'm a gun guy and that. They know.
But for me, when all the statues on the wall turn and look and go, are we in the right place? It's time to maybe back off and just stay with cowboy shooting.
Did we want him?
To be honest with you, I just got one of my horses back this week, and I really wanted to ride him because it rained all week, and I didn't get a chance. And I really wanted to do that, but the traffic getting home was just so bad that I did not get a chance. But I am going to ride that boy tomorrow.
Hey, now before it starts raining again, right?
Yeah. Anyway, Tim, we're coming up on a break. Thanks for the call.
God bless you, Tim. Thanks so much.
And you go to church and say a nice word for me, will you?
All of us. Prayer. Well, I'm going.
I guess we lost Tim, but okay. All right. Hey. I don't hear the music yet. I guess we can go for a little bit.
It's time for several dozen of you to start calling because we have
we have
11 minutes left.
15 more minutes.
So, all right. Well, I see Brent from LA is on. We'll get to him.
Told you guys he'd be calling.
Yeah. And
we got requests.
What is the music?
Oh,
we love this song.
Perfect song.
Yeah, I love this song. All right, you're listening to Gunslingers right here on
the Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
And we'll be back right after this.
The winter chills in colors on the snowy.
Now I understand.
Gosh, this is
in a couple
whole
of weeks.
story.
I'm going to bring in. I have that Martin. I think it's a D48. I'll bring it in. Let's goof around with it. You and Kevin. It's completely ebony. I mean, it is so bitchin'. And it's got the Martin down this way.
Yeah.
Not
yes.
I'll bring that
At
in.
the big end.
It weighs nothing.
but you can hear that thing for a block without.
That's so there's nothing to dampen the vibration.
It is such a.
Those guys know how to make a guitar to this.
Such a choice guitar. I'll bring that in so you can.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
And it came in a beautiful hard case.
That's nice. Increasingly, you're not seeing hard cases anymore.
No,
the
those
soft cases.
gig bags.
I can't think of a guitar I can put in a gig bag.
No.
Oh, we're back already.
Back up. Oh, what I got. Everybody. Well, I'm not bragging, babe, so don't put me down. But I've got the fastest set of wheels in town. If something come up to me, he don't even try. Cause if he had a set of wings, man, I know she would fly. She's my little goose scoop. You don't know what I got. Everybody, way to go, Jimmy. I'm proud of you. Welcome back, everybody, to the last segment of Gunslinger.
Yes, baby.
Well, let's just jump right in with both feet and go to Brent in L.A. Brent, how are you?
Brent. Maurice and Shalom, my friend.
Shalom, you cowgirl competition gunslinger.
Yeah, we had Miss Randy Rogers. Though.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, well, Randy Rogers, that's Roy Rogers' granddaughter. She was just wonderful.
Well, she's good enough to be there.
Yes,
I'll tell you that.
And who's the better shooter, Annie Oakley, Calamity Jane, or Holy Hell?
Holy hell.
Holy Terror.
Yeah, Holy Terror.
Isn't that her nickname?
Holy Terror.
Holy Terror. Well,
Holy Terror.
Okay. Well, Calamity Jane, you can throw her out right away. I don't know that Annie Oakley could hang with cowboy action shooters, to be honest with you, because the kind of shooting that she did. What was it, Mr. Knapp? What was his first name? The exhibition shooter used to toss it.
Tom Knapp.
Tom Knapp. Yeah. The man was amazing, and he would throw an aspirin in the air and shoot it with a .22 Magnum. This guy was amazing, and that's kind of what she did. What we do is so completely different from that I don't know. I'll tell you, we've had competition shooters. I won't mention names, Bob Munden, that used to come out and shoot with us, and they could not hang.
They could not do it.
Yeah. So you know.
So many skill sets.
Yeah, it's just a very, very different way. And, you know, a lot of times too, because they'd be surrounded by people, it would look like they're shooting an actual rifle. And I actually have an 1892 Winchester smoothbore.
That's their little shot shells.
Yes, and so when they throw those little bottles or whatever and they shoot, you know, you don't want a projectile flying through the air and not knowing where it's going. So this is an itty bitty little 44 caliber shot shell that would shoot out, and you know that thing disperses.
That also gives you a little more wiggling room.
Yeah, and that that ain't happening in cowboy action. We're shooting real bullets. I mean, they are downloaded, but they are real bullets, and they will leave a hell of a welt. Anyway. Oh, Brent, did we lose you?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Well, I wanted to add the fact that we've had several times we've had competitions against police or even against other types of competitors, and the cowboy shooters always show up real well.
Yeah, in the old days, La Lass, if you remember La Lass, Mary, she was LAPD, and she used to get us into the Hogan's Alley, and we used to do, it was called Cowboys versus LAPD.
Yes.
And
Cops versus Cowboys.
Cops versus Cowboys, thank you. And
I shot that a couple times.
I won that a couple of times.
Hey, now.
And let me tell you, nothing makes a copper angrier than out shooting his Beretta model M92 FS with a Ruger single action.
Come on now.
Favorite story when we did the show Duel in the Sun, which pitted three of the top 3 gun shooters in the world against three of the top cowboy shooters in the world. After the 3 gun shooters are shooting semi-automatic shotguns, Benelli M4s and FN SLPs, and they watched Badlands Bud loading a pump action 870 off his body the way we do in cowboy action shooting, and they very politely requested that he be forced to use a semi-automatic shotgun to slow him down.
Yeah. That's so there you go. But shooting Hogan out. Oh, Brent's back. Let's get him back. Brent, what happened to you?
Well, I got cut off.
Okay.
That's on your side.
No, who knows?
Well, you're back, so
we'll never get tired of you.
Well, it wasn't me.
And I wanted to ask you, did you hear what our great gunslinging Gorka just gone off and done?
No.
He was part of the counterterrorism team who took down Joe Biden's Abbey Gate Afghan bomber, who murdered so many of our holy soldiers and greenlit for Putin his democracy's Ukraine war. And Daddy Trump is back. And it's going to end Democrat death and destruction real soon.
Excellent.
Amen. Amen.
Excellent. Excellent. All right.
I'd love to hear that.
Yep.
And also, now we have to take down Gangster Gavin's Assembly Bill 1333. The bill he wants to call the Kill California Citizens First Bill.
Right.
Everyone bombard his new podcast.
That's lunacy.
Yeah, I mean, we covered that with Rick from the CRPA, but it is really bad. You have no right to protect yourself. Is basically what it is. You know, you have to run because if you defend yourself or your family or your friends or whatever, you can go.
You're liable for prosecution for defending yourself.
Yeah.
The basic human instinct is survival.
Yeah.
No, you must not do that anymore.
Yeah.
Well, just in contradiction to the Bible, the morality, the Ten Commandments, and common sense.
Yeah, right.
Well,
10,000 years of civilization.
Common sense, unfortunately, is no longer common.
Amen.
Anyway, Brent, as always, thanks for the call.
Thanks so much. God bless.
We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Okay, quick, let's jump to Cash Dollar in Riverside. Cash, how are you?
Cash.
Hey, Berners, how you doing?
Good. What's going on?
Yeah, well, I just want to do a quick say about the CCW-friendly churches. It's always best to let the deacons seat you, because one of the things that you do not want to experience, crossfires.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that could become a problem. So, do I have time for a real quick story?
Real quick.
Okay. There used to be, it burned down since then, but used to be this real nice little rifle pistol range up in Duarte. And we'd go out there and cowboy shoot, and we'd invite the Boy Scouts and the cops and everybody to come out. And they had this ringer plate at 200 yards out there for the rifle. And we'd get out there like the day before and figure out where we needed to stand and the angle of the dangle with our vaqueros and launch a few and figure out where we could hit that thing every time it would ring on us.
Yeah.
And we go over there and they'd be shooting and missing it with their rifles and everything. We just go over there and we put 5 on the ringer, and you should see the look on their face.
How dare you?
Cowboys.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
All right, Cash. What is going on? The phone, he just dropped off again. So, Cash, sorry.
Thanks, Cash. God bless you.
Okay.
Good call.
Well, we got a couple of minutes. Holy cow. Don't forget, folks, next week, the one and only Leon the Motorman and his sidekick George will be in studio. So you guys got calls, but make sure you say thanks for the 44 years or whatever. Was it 44 or 43? I can't remember.
40 plus.
For the 40 plus years of helping us across the Southern California and the nation. So make sure you do that before you ask about your 1988 Celica.
and keep your eye out for the catalog. It should be up probably later on this week. By next show, we should be.
Catalog will be up later in the week. So don't forget, go to Gunslinger Auctions for that. Don't forget, go to Gunslinger Auctions. Take a look at the militaryabay.com at the bottom, and
I think it's actually right in the middle of the page. So you'll see a big, nice portion of the page ready for you.
All I can tell you is Ben has worked really hard on that, and Kevin has been putting some bits back on.
Sound bits?
Yeah, the little 30-second spots all over social media. I'm so bad with this stuff. I don't know any of this crap.
Yeah, but it's good to have people that are good at it, because
that's why you get the people to do it, because if it was up to me, forget about it.
Yeah, and so if you're online and in any of one of our streams right now, make sure you're hitting that like button. Want to make sure at least that we're getting the same amount of likes as we are views. So get those up, but make sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing if you're not already subscribed.
And when you see these little clips, like them too, because the more likes we get, the more people get exposed to it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we appreciate you guys wanting to hoard us, but come on.
Yeah, and
share us with the world, baby.
Yeah, right?
Keep an eye out, because we're going to be doing these shorter segments, not just little clips, but we're going to be doing these whole 15, 12-minute segments. So if there's a portion you really like, you're going to be able to see those kind of divided up, so you don't have to watch the whole show and see where you have to go.
And KRLA has been very gracious with us for quite a while now. They replay usually the whole show every Saturday
night.
Saturday night from 10 to midnight. They replay tonight's show, so it's a few days old, but hey, you still get to hear all kinds of stuff. So go to KRLA 870 right here. If you have a smartphone, all you got to do is download iHeartRadio and just pull up 870 AM, and you can catch us all anytime. You don't have to be in your car. You don't have to listen to a radio. You can listen to us right on your phone.
So Saturday night and you ain't got nobody, you got us.
There you go.
Hey, baby.
There you go. I mean, hell, I'm usually just sitting there watching TV too. So
hey, just put it also on the background.
Okay, real quick, want to thank John and Annie for putting on a great match this morning.
I love
it was 36 degrees when I got there.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah, I got out of the car and went, I don't want to shoot.
Cajon yesterday was pretty much the same thing, only it never warmed up as nicely as today did.
You know what? Today we shot the first two stages. If you guys got to come out and look at the Double R Bar. It is literally like
such a great environment.
Yeah, it's like walking back into time. And we shot the first two stages in the saloon, and it was just freezing. Once we got out of there and got into the sun,
got in some sunshine.
Didn't need the jacket anymore.
Yeah.
But those first two stages, man, my hand went numb from holding this timer. Well, luckily for me, I was holding the timer with my right hand. But it was fun. It was a good match. I didn't smile a whole bunch because, like I said, I'm struggling, guys. I don't know. Maybe after the California State Championship, maybe I will take a little bit of time off.
Speaking of which, Single Barrel and Crazy Little Woman came out. And
no
their little girls are going to be shooting.
Oh boy!
Starting now, this is a couple of great shooters, both of them, that have kind of dropped into the donut hole, which is where you have family responsibilities, and things like that. But their kids are getting ready to shoot.
Let's go.
There you go. Of course, next weekend at Rahagi's Shooting Ranch, the Jersey Lily is back.
Oh man, yes.
Jimmy and I are going to try and make it out. I can't make it to the match, but Jimmy and I are going to try and make it out Sunday sometime in the morning and walk around and say hello,
shake hands, and
to
wave
anybody
the
that'll say us.
Shake babies and kiss your hands. Yes.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Want to thank Randy Rogers for coming on and giving me a kick in the butt. And don't forget to smile. Just little curves. That's a lot of things straight.
Thanks,
Leon, we'll see you next
Love
week.
you
Goodbye,
guys. God
everybody.
bless
Goodbye,
you.
goodbye, 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 goodbye.
Happy trails to you till we meet again.
This program was sponsored by